or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Danielle. I'm an American expat living in Germany. Let me know what you think of this new background. I'm still kind of working with it. We have finally put up the cork map that I got a while ago now, and the kids actually broke it, so we had to repair it. I'm going to be putting the little pins of the places I've been around the world. Today we're going to talk about things that I have a love-hate relationship about certain things in Germany. So the first thing that came to mind is I've noticed since summer started here, it's been really hard to find routine with the kids. Now in Germany we have, I don't know what you call this kind of way of the school year, but where I come from in California, we had very little breaks from September to summer. We had Christmas and like 1 week in spring and a few 3-day weekends. Most of our holiday was in the summer from like end of May, beginning of June until end of August, early September. So here in Germany, in Bavaria anyways, let me know if it's different anywhere else in Germany, we have holidays kind of sporadically spread out throughout the year, which has its pros and its cons. I feel like the kids get a little bit more of like a refresh, and then they're more able to maybe focus, and the school year feels a little bit less overwhelming than it did for me. But I've noticed that having school in the summer is just really difficult because it's really hard to get the kids to go to bed because the sun is out until like 9 o'clock. In summertime, they like to play with their friends until the sun goes down, and it just makes it really difficult to stick to a routine, I've noticed, with the kids, and it makes it really hard for us as parents to kind of feel like we get a break, but I guess that's just kind of the nature of summer, no matter where you go. Next is German honesty. You know, I really appreciate that you always know where you stand with a German, but sometimes I just didn't ask for that. It's a good and a bad thing. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but my astrological sign is Aries, so I tend to kind of be like this as a person. I mean, maybe not all of you believe in that kind of thing, but I do fit a lot of the stereotypes for Aries, so I feel like I can handle it more than other people, but there are times, like, just as an American, I'm just like, the things people say to each other. For Americans, usually only your close friends would give you those constructive criticisms really fast and hard-hitting. But in Germany, like, your first friend-based acquaintances might give it to you. Okay, so my next one is winter. Now, I definitely lean more towards the hate side of the spectrum of this one, but I feel like last year was like the first year I really managed to kind of embrace winter. Really, I just hate how long they are. They are like half of the year here. This year, I've just really decided to just kind of go into it, surrender to the cozy. It was actually quite mild this year, which is probably why else I was able to handle it a little bit more. I think there's a lot of like spiritual growth that can take place in the winter time, so I've just decided to try my best to surrender to it. And this year, I feel like it's the first year in all 10 years I've lived here that I managed to really see the benefit, and the summers and the other seasons here are more pronounced than where I grew up in California, where we basically just have summer and spring. Like, we don't really have winters over there, so it's definitely been a learning curve for me, and I'm learning to love it as I go. All right, next is saunas. So most of you guys know this is how this whole series kind of started, was with my Germans and nudity thing. So I love saunas. But there are a couple things I don't like about them. So I don't like that you have to go naked with other people. I don't mind being naked with myself, but I just personally don't like to be naked with other people. I realize there's a lot of you out there who are cool with it, and that, yes, that is our natural state of being. I just don't like to be naked with strangers, just a personal thing. I don't care much for like the cold showers afterward, but I do really like the feeling after being in a hot sauna and then going for it and like jumping into that cold lake or taking that really cold shower is just like the best feeling ever. All right, so now on to the language. So I do have a love-hate relationship with the language. I do think it's a very difficult language to learn. Not probably one of the more, I mean, it's probably not like the most difficult language to learn for an English speaker, I guess you could say. The grammar's a bit of a mess and it's very confusing, and that's where I really struggle. But I also do find myself like finding certain words that I just think sound better in German. I love how literal the language can be. So like, for example, gloves in German is Handschuh, which means like shoes for your hands, so that's pretty neat. You know, I don't know what it is. There are just certain words that will come to me faster in German than they will in English. I've really struggled with that when I make my videos, like, or even just on my Insta stories. I'll be forgetting, like, I'll blank on what the actual word is in English because it comes to me first in German. It's just, I have a love-hate relationship with the language. The pronunciation of the word is usually written as it is pronounced, unlike English where there's a lot of silent letters and whatnot. The next thing along the lines of the language is a lot of Germans speak English. Now, I do like that, I do love that, I really appreciate that, and I know you guys want to learn and practice your English. The second you realize there's an English speaker, you're like, oh, I get to practice my English, great. But you also have to realize if you're talking to an expat living in Germany, we also need to practice our German, and I have easily gotten by many years with very basic German because I've just met so many expat friends and so many Germans speak English, so it can become a bit of a mess for expats if you don't really like put the effort in to try to learn the language, because it can be easy to get by without learning the language, and I can 100% attest to that. I mean, it's not 100% easy, but it's manageable. Next is about the German food. So I'm a vegan, and you know, when I got here, I was not a vegan though, but I didn't really like the food, to be honest, but I've grown to really like sauerkraut. Since I've lived here, I've definitely noticed that for sure. So I do like sauerkraut now. I know it's super healthy too. I really don't like that in Germany there's not a lot of like caramel things. I've noticed through my travels in France and England, you can find like lots of caramel flavored goodies. Here in Germany you can, but like I'm a vegan again, so like they just tend to like everything I find like in ice cream, it's always like flavored cookies or peanut butter. I don't know, do Germans really like cookies and peanut butter the best? Because that seems to be like all of the vegan products that are selling well here. It just doesn't seem like you guys have a lot of like caramel. I've just really struggled with caramel since I've lived in Germany, even before I was a vegan, but it's been worse since I've been a vegan. So do you guys not really feel the caramelized desserts as much as like they do in France? I've definitely noticed that in France, you guys love your caramel treats. Okay, so my next one is, I love summer in Germany. I love going to the lakes, but I hate German bugs. And I'm usually not like a bugophobe, and I still don't really freak out as much as most people do, but I hate your horse flies. I have not experienced anything close to as a straight up attack from bugs as I have experienced in Germany. I have been chased by a swarm of horseflies at a lake for probably a mile. I was literally running from them to get to the restaurant we were trying to get to. They really liked me too. Like my husband was just laughing because they didn't like him. They were just literally chasing me. I was just trying to get there. Even when we got in the restaurant, I couldn't get away from them. So horseflies are a real problem, at least down here in Bavaria. Your ants, I don't know why they bite, but if you're wearing flip-flops and you happen to, you know, just stand somewhere for a while and an ant comes on you, or a few ants, be prepared to be bitten by them, and it hurts really bad. Also, everybody's freaking out about these hornets. We've had those in Germany for a very long time. I see at least 2 to 3 hornets a year, at least, like probably more than that. We've even had a hornet nest in like every place we've lived. So German bugs are something else. Okay, the last one is broadside. I think that this is kind of what you call it. It's very common that you have a cold dinner. Now, I'm not accustomed to cold dinners. Dinner was always like kind of our main family meal of the day, so we always had like rich, like that was like the big meal of the day. Like a lot of the times lunches would be light, but in Germany I find that a lot of families have lighter dinners. It can be really handy when you have a full household, had a full exhausting day, just be like, I don't even have to feel guilty about this because this is just tradition. Let's just throw a bunch of bread on the table with some, you know, condiments and some vegan goodies, or if you're not vegan, whatever you put on the table, and just call it a day. So I love it for that reason, but at the same time, I just really like being creative with my dinners and having a really nice, creative, big dinner. So yes, that is my love-hate relationship since I have lived in Germany. Let me know if you like this video. What are some love-hate relationships you have? If you live in Germany and you're from somewhere else, what are some of your love-hate relationships with your own cultures? I'd love to hear it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did and you want more. And I will see you next time.